I can if you would like me to, Your Honor.
Very good. Go ahead.
I'm Macy Moore, foster care worker with Catholic Charities.
Thank you. And I'm glad you're here today because I know at our last hearing in the abuse and neglect case, there were some options being explored as far as how to allow for this to be accomplished, but also in a way that considers what's happening in the abuse and neglect file and both Ellie's best interest and her daughter's best interest. So thank you for coming. I'm sure we'll get to you. Okay. All right. Deputy, would you swear in Tanya Guerin, Ellie Guerin, and Macy Moore, please?
Remain seated or raise your right hands, please. Each of you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Tanya Guerin, this is your petition, so I'd like to give you the opportunity to go first. What would you like to say to the court today?
Just say that Ellie has been doing well with, she took her first parenting course on Zoom, and she's excited to complete that 3 virtual class so that she could do a 10-week virtual individualized parenting course. And she's been actively doing her Zoom counseling, and she's just really excited with the prospect of coming home so that she can get her old job back. So she's really on the right frame of mind to come back home and hopefully, you know, just be in a better place mentally, physically.
Questions from our attorneys?
Any questions? I do. It sounds as though, and I'll verify this with Ms. Moore, who I'll be calling, but that most of her requirements on the abuse and neglect and abuse case, the NA case, that most of these are Zoom, that you can continue uninterrupted in Pennsylvania. Is that correct?
That's
okay. You've been living in a hotel, either you or your husband. You've been alternating with her here in Lenawee County. Is that correct?
correct.
Okay. I know you've been in quite constant communication with me early on in the case regarding trying to locate a facility for her. Were you able to do that?
We were not. And in fact, she had a Zoom interview with the placement back in Bangor, Pennsylvania, about 20 minutes from our home called Bloom, which their model's very similar to SOAR's. And they did tell her that she would not be a candidate, but they did have a list of other resources that we could look into, day programs and things like that. I also, in this interim, had reached out to our Division of Human Services to get resources. So in the event that she is permitted to come home to Pennsylvania, I could look into what would be most appropriate.
Well, you kind of jumped ahead because you're going a little bit beyond what I asked.
Sure.
So let me ask, you're moving into that. You're living with her right now, a parent is. If she were to return to Pennsylvania, would she be living in your home with you?
That's the goal.
Okay. And her visits, how would those be accomplished here in Michigan with the child?
We have spoken with Macy, and we could do a every 2-week in-person visitation, and in those spaces in between, we could do a Zoom session with the baby.
Okay. Has there been any issues with the biological father and your daughter and attempting to communicate to her, influence her, anything of that nature that you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of, but Deputy Jones has been in contact with the prosecutor here to file charges against him for things that occurred when they were together.
Okay, so Deputy Jones advised you that he's seeking warrants against father. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay. So she may be a potential witness in a criminal case. Is that what I'm hearing?
Correct.
Okay. Have you attempted to secure a guardianship in Pennsylvania or see what the requirements are in Pennsylvania?
I have. We have a hearing actually on the 18th, which is part of why we're here and requesting to be able to take Ellie home so that she may attend that hearing in person.
Okay. Okay. So what have you petitioned for in the state of Pennsylvania?
For the plenary guardianship of Ellie.
Okay. Okay. And do you have any paperwork with you today?
I do not, but it was sent out here.
You're telling me that it was sent to the clerk's office across the hall?
Correct.
Court file. Do you know, have you talked to somebody at the clerk's office to see if they've received it?
Here?
Yeah.
Yes, Audrey has received it.
Thank you.
I just realized I have it.
Oh, thank you, Your Honor. Okay. I wanted to make
Stephanie,
sure.
did you make a copy of this for Mr. McFarland, Mr. Brooks, and Mr. Amadeo, please? Do you need a copy as well?
Wait, this just got crazy flushed face. A mother wants to take her daughter back home, claiming she's improved with therapy and parenting classes. But there's a possible criminal case against the father, and she could be a key witness. Fearful face now, they're also pushing for full guardianship and long-distance visits. Exploding heads, so the big question: ready to go home or moving way too fast? Backhand index pointing down, like and subscribe for more.
Here.
No, thank you.
3 copies.
Got it, thank you.
Can you tell us in general how your daughter's doing?
She's in a much better spot mentally. And were not easy in the very beginning, as I'm sure everyone had witnessed when we were first appointed the guardianship. Very distraught and kind of still under, I would say, Mr. Cundiff's control. And since then, she's just done nothing but expressed how much she wants to get more help and be able to have a job and return to some sort of normalcy.
Okay. Lastly, I know there's been a financial burden on you and your husband that you've explained to me why I interviewed you. Describe that in just a little detail about us having her in a hotel here.
Just between my husband and I going back and forth and spending money on hotels, it's a lot. It's very draining financially. It's emotionally stressful for all of us.
Is there other family other than her immediate mother and father there in Pennsylvania?
My parents just went back to Florida, but they're there with us several months out of the year, and her older sister would love to see her.
Gotcha. So she has a sister. I have no further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Any questions, Mr. Brooks?
I have one question of Ms. Garrett, if I may.
Yes.
Ma'am, it's a simple question. Are you pregnant at this time?
No.
Thank you. That's all.
Very well. Anything else that you wanted to share with us, Tanya, Karen? Okay. Well, before I put Macy Moore on the spot, gentlemen, do you have any preference on who or if we take testimony from anyone else in the room?
Ellie, do you want to testify today?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I'm sure. I think they're asking if you would like to go home. I think they want your opinion on the matter.
Let's let Mr. Amadeo spearhead the questioning of his client, please.
Yeah, and so Ellie, to be clear, I would like to hear some things from you if you'd be willing to testify briefly.
Yeah.
Will you do that?
Yep, and she can stay right where she's at.
Okay. Okay, Ellie.
She has been.
So I'm just going to ask you a few questions, okay? Is it true that you want to go back to Pennsylvania?
Yes.
Is it true you think it would be in your best interest to go back to Pennsylvania?
Yes.
Is it true you think it would be in your child's best interest to have your mother and father emotionally support you?
Yes.
Okay, and do you think it'd be better for your family financially? This is probably more of a question for Tanya, but do you think financially it'd be best for you to be in Pennsylvania?
Yes.
And I want to be very clear before Judge Sala makes her decision when she analyzes this. Is this of your own free will?
Yes.
Okay, this is what you want, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
No questions, Your Honor.
Record should reflect. Copies of the pleadings that were filed in Pennsylvania are being circulated to the attorneys.
Acknowledge I've received it, Your Honor.
Acknowledge. Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Moore will make sure you get a copy of these as well, unless you have them already.
I do not. I would appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Any other questions for Ellie Garrett?
It's just looking at the heading of their court. It's the Orphans Court Division. It's okay.
All right, Ms. Moore, I'd like to go to you next. Part of what we had discussed in the context of the abuse and neglect matter last time we were here in court was, number one, the status of any home investigation in Pennsylvania that was being done as a courtesy through the cooperation of your department and the equivalent department in Pennsylvania, but also the option to return the child to Ellie, understanding that she is in a guardianship and her guardians would, by extension, assist in the responsibilities of caretaking for her child. I'd like to hear from you on the status of those things, as well as your thoughts on today's request for her to relocate.
Yes, so I can start with the ICPC. It's the Interstate Compact request. I have not received a report yet, but I do know that all of the home visits have been completed. So I believe the worker in Pennsylvania is just kind of finishing that up, typing it away. And then for her returning to Pennsylvania, I do think it would be in the best interest. I think me and everybody on her family, like Ellie and her mother, communicate frequently and consistently, so that's not a concern. And we could even get some in-person, like referrals made for Pennsylvania if in-person is better than online. And then what was the last question?
Wait, this just got real flushed face. The daughter tells the court she wants to go home and says it's best for her and her child, while her mom admits they're struggling financially and emotionally. Fearful face and the shocker? Even the case worker supports the move. Exploding head, now it's all on the judge. Let her go or not. Backhand index pointing down, like and subscribe for more.
Oh, yes. Practically speaking, your thoughts about the relocation, but as you were updating me on the investigation, I came up with a few more questions. So if you want to let me know what you think about the formally, or if you have any other thoughts about the relocation request. Now, that was the last question I had asked.
Okay, so yeah, I think it would be best for Ellie to go down right now with her parents, and then I think get a little bit more services in for everybody, and then we can kind of look at placement for the minor child. But I think worrying about getting Miss Guerin down there first is kind of top priority.
Have you spoken with the worker from Pennsylvania to gather her initial impressions of the situation in Pennsylvania?
I've spoken to her briefly over email, just like regarding the visits and everything, and there were no concerns brought to me at that time. So I don't foresee any concerns.
Have you discussed with the family, the department, or anyone else the option to allow the child to visit with her family? For example, we have obviously Thanksgiving coming up. Would that be an option for the child to visit with her family in Pennsylvania?
I think it could definitely be discussed and looked into. I have not looked into it yet, so I wouldn't have an actual solid answer for you at this time.
Would you be interested in seeing how such an extended visit would go in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I could definitely look into that.
All right. Any other questions for Ms. Moore?
The court asked the questions I was concerned about, Your Honor.
Thanks. Mr. Amadeo, any questions?
Ms. Moore, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
How long have you been involved in this case?
I was the initial signed foster care worker, so I kind of stepped in. CPS still held the case, but I've been here since the beginning.
Okay, would it be fair to say outside the family and in this court you have more knowledge than anybody else about this case?
I think that would be fair.
Okay, and to be very clear, you do feel it's in the best interest of this woman to go back to Pennsylvania with her family, correct?
Yes, I do.
I said, well, I was always going to say child. I'm used to juvenile cases in this court, so I apologize for that. I was going to say this child, but she's an adult. With that said, can you just briefly explain, I know you kind of did this already, why you think Ellie would be better off in Pennsylvania than Michigan?
I think she would just have some more solid support systems behind her. I think it will be beneficial for her to kind of reconnect with her sister. I know that was a relationship that Ellie had told me that she would enjoy to kind of get into again. I think it would kind of be a weight off of her chest in a way to be able to actually leave this Lenawee County. I imagine there's a lot of reminders specifically in Adrian where our office is for her, so I can see how that could be harder. And just for her parents as well, it's a lot having to bounce, switch which parents here and hotels and everything like that. So I think it will be kind of a way for her to slow down to be able to start healing herself.
Thank you, Ms. Moore.
Mr. Brooks, any questions for our foster care caseworker, Macy Moore?
I do not.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Moore.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, any other witnesses or comments in closing?
Just closing remarks, Your Honor.
Closing remarks as well, Judge.
Mr. Brooks?
I don't think I have any real standing here, so I have no comment.
Okay. Comments, Mr. Amadeo?
Thanks, Judge. I am going to ask that you allow her to move back to Pennsylvania. I know there was some hesitation earlier. I think the family's made progress in that regard. I think it's a financial strain for her to be here, and I also think there's some mental health issues that can be better addressed in Pennsylvania with the support of her family. I like the idea she'll be back with her sister making a connection. I think Ms. Moore is the most objective person outside the lawyers in the room to make the case to you. I think she spoke volumes when she thinks Pennsylvania would be the move, so I'm going to ask you to do that.
Mr. McFarland, what do you?
All right, no, one of my concerns and the court's concerns is were there attempts made or are being made for a guardianship in Pennsylvania. We have evidence, which I've just received, I didn't realize that it was already scheduled, which I'm pleased to see. I know parents were calling me quite consistently early on, trying to find a place for Ellie, and I also attempted to reach out as a courtesy to them, unsuccessful to find some place locally other than the hotel where they've been diligently staying. It is concerning me that we have a criminal investigation and...
Wait, this just took a major turn, flushed face. The caseworker says Ellie should be moved back to Pennsylvania immediately for better family support, healing, and stability, instead of staying stuck in hotels and court stress. Fearful face, but at the same time, there's still a criminal investigation hanging over the case, raising serious concerns. Exploding head, so now the judge has to decide. Safe family reset or too risky to move. Backhand index pointing down, like and subscribe for more.
I think the father may have some instability in this case, and I don't want to see Ellie maybe unduly influenced or attempt to be contacted by him here locally. I see a safety concern there, Your Honor. Due to his, I consider he has some instability issues. I see we have support on the abuse and neglect case, which was the other concern that I had regarding parenting time, and if there's support on that end, and there is, Your Honor. So at this point, I would see no objection to moving, but keep this case open because obviously we need to make sure that the guardianship is successful in Pennsylvania. And if that's the case, then we can come back here to discuss closure of the guardianship. Thank you.
Thank you. I agree. All right. So first of all, I want to say that I know that I have been telling this family for a couple of months now that what I needed to see from them was to file and ask for authority to make sure that Ellie is safe and that they can make decisions for her in Pennsylvania under the color of law to help prevent things like this from happening in the future. So I want to take a moment to recognize that and thank the family for taking those steps. All right. As a result of that, I am considering the support of the attorneys, the Department of Health and Human Services, the pending hearing for the appointment of guardianship, and the progress of the case on the abuse and neglect side. I'm going to find that it does serve the welfare of Ellie Guerin to grant a request to allow her to move back to Pennsylvania immediately. I'm glad to see that a lot of the services that she has are online, and so she'll be able to transition using those until and unless something's set up for you in Pennsylvania, to re-engage in some services and routines that were supportive of Ellie in Pennsylvania. And I'm looking forward to Ms. Moore exploring potentially the visit of Ellie's child to the family, both for Thanksgiving, for some of those weekend or every other week visitations for the family, as well as Christmas. The next review in the abuse and neglect matter is not scheduled until January 12th at 1:30 p.m. So what I'm going to do is set a review on this guardianship file in addition to what's already happening with the abuse and neglect case to determine whether or not the guardianship needs to remain in place. So for example, if Pennsylvania grants you guardianship between now and when we come back in January, then I can close our guardianship case here. Michigan doesn't allow for transfer of authority, but if you have the authority granted to you in Pennsylvania, then I can close this case. And we'll draft something to that effect so that you can have that for the hearing in November. That just simply documents that we can't transfer our authority, but we're looking for Pennsylvania to confirm your authority so that Ellie can remain in your care with adequate protections in Pennsylvania. So that hopefully that can be of some assistance in case any questions arise on that point when you're there on the 18th in Pennsylvania. So we'll put those pieces in place. We'll allow Ellie to return to Pennsylvania. Ms. Moore has her homework. And so I'm going to grant the petition in order. We'll draft that separate notice for status conference with the additional remarks that I've offered for the record today. And unless there's any questions, that's all.
Date of that?
January 12th at 1:30.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Not for me, Judge, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
That's all for this morning.
Thank you.
Wait, this just exploded, flushed face. The judge has officially approved Ellie to move back to Pennsylvania immediately, despite serious concerns about the father's instability and safety risks. Fearful face, the court still keeps the case open, but says she'll have better support and stability with her family there. Exploding head, so now the shocker. Was this a safe decision or a dangerous gamble? Backhand index pointing down, like and subscribe for more.